Hello, my name's Fran. Welcome to myboxingcoach.com. At the end of this video, you will be able to understand and execute 3 simple ways of cutting across the central line. Okay, so the center line being here, a really important concept in boxing. If you keep your head on the center line all the time, it's only a matter of time before you get one of them. So we're going to work on some simple ways of cutting across the center line. 3 ways, lateral movements across the centre line. Before we get started, why don't you download your book, The Beginner Boxer Toolkit? Join the thousands of others who've downloaded the book and who are benefiting from the content therein. There are 64 pages packed full of information from how to use a heavy bag, how to build your 10 core skills, understanding mindset, setting up your own home gym and your own training regime. There's lots of stuff in there. There's a link down below, or there will be a link at the end of the video as well. Okay, so let's talk about cutting across the center line and combining some skills to do that. I'm going to use you need 3 lines on the floor. I'm using the Drill Gorilla. I'll put a link down below for you to go and have a look at the Drill Gorilla. Really cool mat that allows. There's got a bunch of lines on it that really help the way we work on myboxingcoach.com. Okay, so the lines I'm interested in today: 1, 2, 3. Center line. Line goes from the toe on the front foot to the heel on the back foot, and I'm here in front of my opponent. This is the line that we're going to be cutting across. And the reason we want to do that is because it helps you defensively, plus you open up angles of attack. If you just keep your head in the same spot, on the same vertical plane and on the same horizontal plane, so if your head stays there and never moves there or there or there, then you're just going to take a lot of shots. Head movement is really important. So let's think about some of the most. We'll start simple and build up from there. So we can do a simple jab and push across. You see the way, and we always want to use little movements. I don't want to push from here to over here. Everything's, under pressure. That ability to execute small moves, everything under control, is actually much more difficult. It's easier to jump really far. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure everything's steady and controlled. So what you can actually do is simple jab and step across. So cutting across the centre line. From there, boom, across, boom, boom. 1, 1. So everything across. But I hear you say, as I'm moving across that way, you've just seen that my head isn't moving at all. Forgot to add a really cool way, something you should try. If you want to try and add a bit of power to your backhand, you can do these lateral moves, but you can split it. So that lead foot goes across first, step across, backhand, and then come across there. Try it on the bag. Don't just try it once. Try it 30 times in one round. Just get into the flow of being there and then stepping across and going bang, whack. Just keep driving. Keep executing the same move and do it about 30 times. And let me know, try it and let me know. I find that with each execution, you learn slight adjustment and you can enhance power levels. That's an aside. Back to what we're doing. But if I keep my head at the same height, I'm so vulnerable to hooks. Them ones over the top, bang, bang, and they're fight-ending punches. Especially if you're moving that way and you move into a hook, really, really, high risk, going to hurt you. So why not do the simple thing? You can do the side step with the duck. Okay, so you can go 1 and then step across and duck. You see how it's only a small movement. These are only 6 to 8 inches apart, maybe 8 inches apart, these lines. You can go a bit further. You're stepping across the centre line, from that line to that line. And what I'm doing there I'm actually initiating it with a push off that leg. Push, duck and across. When I'm doing my duck, I'm sticking my backside out and keeping my back straight. Right? I'm not doing that. So I'm not bending over at the waist. Right? And the reason I'm not doing that, there's two reasons. Number one, I just like the idea of keeping my eyes on the opponent. I think it's important that you do that. Visibility is everything. The floor, I'm looking at the floor is not the thing that's going to be punching me in the mouth. The opponent there is. And for amateur boxers, if you get into the habit of doing that and you're taking your eyes off your opponent, you will get warned by a referee. It's dangerous use of the head. This is not the pro game. Most people, if you're a pro and you're watching YouTube to get tips on how to box, really think about the team you've got around you. Most people who come to YouTube are learning boxing for fitness and they want to get better, or maybe self-defense, or amateur or competition. White collar, I'm not going to really talk about. I don't know how the referees control what goes on in white collar. All I can do is speak to amateur boxing. And if I do that in amateur boxing, if I take my eyes off my opponent and my head's there, I will get warned. So you've got to know that that's a foul. That was a bit ranty, wasn't it? I didn't intend to go off on that rant. So, backside out, step across, and then you can get the shots off over these. Push, push. So the line always ends up toe to heel. And then number 3, something even a little more subtle now. So let's do the slip and then a duck and a push across. So what we're actually doing, if I slip to there, so you see my head goes off the centre line, slip. So as I push off the back leg, my hips rotate and that takes my head off the centre line. Do you see that? See, look at this line on the floor and look where my head goes in comparison to that line there. Okay, so my head's come across. So there's 1, duck, push across. Line on the floor, go from the toe to the heel. And we can try it there as well. So try it again. Slip, duck, combined with a push across. 1, 2, 3. So at speed you'd have something like, it's almost a roll. It's kind of like a half roll, but you do the step across as well. We can do it from the other way. So if I do an outside slip, so an outside slip is a push off that leg, hips rotate, and my head goes off the centre line. Body weight just distributes to the back leg. So you've got 1, duck, step across. 1, duck, and step across. And then you can come back on yourself. So you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're combining numbers 2 and 3. So at speed, I'll try from that way. 1, 2, 3. So as you build this into your shadow boxing, 1, 2, 3. You stand in a range in front of the opponent, and of course that's all this type of stuff. You know, using that rhythmic movement, but start with the steady stuff. Remember when you're doing that duck, don't bend your waist. Backside out, back straight. Try it out. Look, do it slow, do it steady. Think through the ones you can do. Think how you can connect these things together. Don't even use punches. You will get benefit from this by slowing everything down and forcing yourself to use these structured patterns where you overlay skill upon skill. Okay, I want to stop there. Don't forget to download your book, The Beginner Boxer Toolkit, or check out Drill Gorilla. and I will see you soon. Cheers.